Hello everyone, my name is Jason Genzel, and I'm an astrophotographer. I've had a lifelong interest in space. In fact, I hold a degree in aerospace engineering. But the journey into astrophotography has been more of a personal one, of exploration. I've always been fascinated with what lies just outside the range of human experience. Astrophotography has offered a means into that realm, to see the unseen, the invisible, the hidden, to see more than my eyes could see, all from the comfort of my backyard. Although it's easy to consider that the hobby is accessible now for most people, that wasn't always the case. Just a mere 10 years ago, costs on equipment such as a dedicated astronomy camera were prohibitive, and that kept a lot of people out of this hobby. But as the technology became more accessible, costs came down, and more options became available, there's been an explosion of interest in astrophotography, and I'm no exception. Over the past few years, I've honed my skills in image acquisition and processing, and because of that, my work has been internationally awarded, recognized, and published in various outlets. Of course, as I became more experienced in astrophotography, my collection of equipment has grown significantly. I've always had some pride in the fact that I'm able to do more with less, with basic or affordable equipment. And during my experience with these pieces of equipment, a few stand out above the rest as being a great value to both a beginner and an advanced astrophotographer. So today, we're going to talk about one of those. Alright, here we have the full kit laid out. In front of me is the Explore Scientific AR152 6-inch doublet achromatic refractor. At under $1,000, it offers an amazing value to the amateur astronomer because it can not only be used for its traditional visual observation purposes, but also imaging applications. I just want to say that my AR152 is modified from its original form because it carries a moonlight motorized focuser on the back. And that just allows me the freedom of autofocus when I'm imaging. Now, in regards to imaging with this telescope, it is an achromatic refractor. And what that means is that it focuses different wavelength ranges at different focal points, meaning different colors come to focus at different focus positions. And that can be a challenge when imaging. If you can imagine imaging a full color image, you may have certain colors in focus and certain colors not in focus. To get around that, we can limit the range that we are imaging by using filters. And the more you limit that range, the sharper the results you're going to get. So what I really like to do with this telescope is narrowband imaging, or at a minimum, monochrome RGB imaging, so that I can really hone in on each wavelength range and get focus correct, and then combine those later in post-processing. Alright, so let's review the kit for each type of photography. So here we have the items for deep sky. I like to use this Explore Scientific 0.7x reducer corrector, and this helps give a flat focal plane and also increase the speed of the telescope from f6.5 natively to f4.5, and that shoots at just under 700 millimeter focal length. For deep sky, I use this camera setup and filter wheel. This is the ZWO ASI 183mm Pro camera with a 8-position filter wheel, various filters in here for both deep sky and planetary, LRGB and narrowband hydrogen, sulfur, and oxygen in here. And this is the solar setup. I have a Daystar Quark, both the hydrogen alpha and the calcium version. And behind that I use the ASI 174mm camera. And then I have some visual observation setups here. I have a diagonal, 2-inch diagonal with an Explore Scientific 28mm wide angle eyepiece. And then also the setup with a power mate and a variable zoom eyepiece for looking at planets. I've also had other setups on here. I've had my DSLR on here. I've also got an eyepiece adapter with an iPhone. And last but not least, a white light solar filter. So I've also shot white light solar through this telescope also. So as you can see, very versatile setup and many things you can do with this outside of just purely visual. Last but not least, planetary photography. I almost forgot about that. For planetary, I use this setup you see here. Again, this is the same ZWO ASI 183mm Pro camera. Nice small pixels and allows you to get detail on the planets. I use that same filter wheel. This filter wheel is loaded with also near infrared and ultraviolet filter to get a little bit of extension on the spectrum. Again, I shoot planets namely in RGB and then near infrared or ultraviolet. In front of that I run a 5x power mate to extend the native focal length of just under 1,000 millimeters out to close to 5,000 or beyond to get some nice magnification on the planets and some details. Well, I hope you enjoyed my tour of the skies with the AR152 telescope. If you'd like to see more of my work, you can join me on social media. I use the same handle everywhere, The Vast Reaches, or on my website. Thank you, and clear skies.